I wanted to take a moment and outline my experience in my college's newsroom to kind of make a case for myself as to why my experience should count as work experience. So to start, I don't see the point in going to college if you're not extremely focused on your career. So that being said, when I got to Bridgewater, the first thing I did was join Veritas. I took an article the first meeting. I really did everything I could to cultivate my love for news and to really get into the weeds with it. So, my freshman year, I covered a lot of sporting events. I covered a lot of Senate meetings. Just general stuff that a first year would cover. But I was also given a couple high-profile assignments. Like there was a lot going on in our Senate that year and things like that. So, my sophomore year, I had the ability to kind of pull double duty, where I was a staff writer, but I was also layout editor. So I learned how the paper was made. I learned, what goes in a paper and what doesn't. What's news, what's opinion, things like that. So that really cultivated my eye for news and my eye for good stories. And then, after putting in all this work for 2 years, yes, I had the opportunity my senior year to interview for the editor-in-chief position, which I got and accepted. And then so I used that year to not only write various types of editorial pieces and things like that, but I also had the opportunity to kind of teach the next crop of journalists coming out of Bridgewater. So while the professor was lecturing about X, Y, and Z in class, I was able to take that information and use it to where here's how this has happened in my experience, or here's something you might face when talking to this person. So I think not only did I perform my role as editor-in-chief, but I also really was able to teach the next crop of journalists. And then another thing about Bridgewater is that, in a small college environment like that, it really is a small town. I created relationships with people. I had sources I could go to regularly for information and for a quote. I had, people I could reach out to for a photo or things like that. But finally, and I think the most important part was, through my professionalism and my drive to be a journalist, I created a reputation for myself that, any faculty member, any staff, any student, really anyone could come to me and say, I think I have a potential story, will you hear me out? And, that happened multiple times throughout my college career, and I think that's a testament to the work I put in. I remember there was one time where I was covering a press conference for a basketball coach, and one of the Bridgewater media men asked if I was from the Daily News Record, which was really interesting. And yeah, I'm gonna cut that part out, but I think the rest of that was really good.